Good evening, Twitch. How you doing? It's Saturday night. You have yourselves a wonderful weekend so far. But tonight, decided to take a little bit of a break from playing Splatoon and go back to a game I actually wanted to really actually go all in on back in February 2007. It was actually a game The Completionist actually covered and promoted back during that time as well, and it was a game actually long in the making. And you know, I tried it during the beta. I actually enjoyed it, you know, for what it was. And then I actually did buy the game, and I did stream it. I streamed both the story mode and the multiplayer, and I really enjoyed it. I obviously wasn't great at it, but at the same time, it was something that I found to be extremely enjoyable. We're actually going back to For Honor. I'm gonna go on and head on in there. Hopefully it's actually working. There we go. Let's actually skip that there. So there actually, if you're actually very familiar with this game, this is actually For Honor. It's in Season 6, apparently, Heroes March. And at E3, they're announcing that they're actually putting in a new, I guess you would say an expansion. And they're adding a new faction, which is going to call them the Chinese for now. Because I don't think they actually had I guess it would be Wu Ling, was their proper name. But For Honor, what kind of also spurred me to stream this tonight is that a person I host a lot, and I enjoy his content, I enjoy his personality and stuff, Exposure, tried this game because this game, was announced at E3 this year. Is that they created a starter edition, very much like Rainbow Six Siege. If you ever played that, there's now Rainbow Six Siege, a starter edition, and you can play that. They're effectively, Ubisoft is using the same exact business strategy as they did with Rainbow Six Siege to try and get people to play this game. But the reason why I actually ended up not playing this game was because back when this game was released, it relied on a mesh peer-to-peer connection. And what that meant, for those who aren't really knowledgeable about tech, when you have a peer-to-peer connection, you're basically relying on everyone, you're being connected and staying connected to everyone. And for a fighting game, like a one-on-one, peer-to-peer is actually perfectly fine. But the moment you enter a third person, a fourth person, a fifth person, or what this game actually has for different modes here. This game actually has a 4v4 mode, so we have 8 players. It doesn't actually handle that well. And it was plagued with disconnects and a lot of connectivity issues. And that was actually the reason why I actually said I can't play this game anymore. Even though I enjoyed it, I always enjoy playing the Warden class. That's actually the only class I actually really have experience playing and actually got competent in. Dealing with the constant disconnects or random lag and such because it was peer-to-peer was not fun. It was just extremely unenjoyable. And that's what made me walk away, and I started focusing, and I realized, like, I can't go all in on this game. However, over, I'd say a year and 4 months later now, since I've actually gotten back in this game, and seeing that they opened up a Star Edition, I've gotten to actually sit down and play with this game, and the online issues are actually solved. And there's actually quite a bit that they actually added here. The core part of it, like the whole war map and such, the campaign, that's still nice. That's still a nice little light feature so players can get rewards and stuff. The dailies are actually still there, which exactly is very much, like I said, if you ever played Rainbow Six Siege, it's almost verbatim the same type of model in terms of progression and unlocking of any sort of characters and stuff. So you could, in this game, I believe, I'm trying to remember what it was, the currency in Rainbow Six Siege to unlock the operators. In this game, you still do the same. You need to actually collect steel, and you can actually unlock them using steel here. Now, just as a quick reference here, if you're getting the starter edition, I think you get access to the Knights classes, but the Knights classes and the Vanguard classes. However, the downside is you don't actually own the Conqueror, the Peacekeeper, or the Lawbringer if you get the starter edition, and the actual cost to recruit them is actually 8,000. However, you still can recruit all of those characters if you actually play the game for free. So that is something you can still do. And I believe you can also buy packs to have the opportunity to play the other factions as well. As for the other ones there, as you can see, you can actually even unlock all the other classes. Like I said, it's been over a year and 4 months since I've actually played this game. So they've actually added a couple more classes. So I have the Centurion and the Gladiator for the Knights, the Highlander and the Shaman for the Vikings, and the Shinobi and the Musha for the Samurai. So they've added a lot, 6 new characters through the process. Actually, technically a little bit, actually more, because they actually added, they added the Shugoki, the Valkyrie, and the Lawbringer as well back when I was playing. As you can see, though, primarily I've been playing the Warden. Everything you do in this game is just based on, progression, and there is a lot of progression. Let me actually grab my mouse here for a second here, and I will show you how much progression there is. So we're at Reputation 6, and our next unlock is going to be at Reputation 6, level 20. The max is currently level 50. So basically, you max out your class 50 times, and you reach Reputation 50. That's a lot. That is a lot of progression you actually can do. I think it was actually much less over the time. But I wanted to let me actually show you. Hey, Pretty Time, is the online still active in the game? Actually, yes it is, actually. Last I checked, which was 2 nights ago, this game was actually averaging about 3,000 active players. I'd say the downside is probably about those 3,000 average players, so, there's ups and downs by 1,000. So you can do and it's honestly very small game modes, so it's not like you need a lot of players here. So there's the standard game modes, there's 1v1 duels, 2v2 brawls. There's the battle modes, which 4v4 tribute they actually added when I was away. They have the Dominion there, which is basically capture point. And then there's Deathmatch, which is effectively the 1v1 and the 2v2, but it just makes it into a 4v4. And there's an elimination, which is pretty much equal to the duels. And then there's a skirmish mode, which is just point-based, so your characters will actually respawn instead of having 1 life. And then they also added a ranked mode, so there's this dual tournament beta, as you can, now you know it's beta, and a ranked Dominion beta. So they actually made ranked modes here. Also, how are you doing, Pretty Time? How has your weekend been? Like I said, I actually enjoyed playing this game a lot. I really did. Oh, they even added a quick match mode. That's even better. But the one thing I actually wanted to show here, so the story mode is always there, and it's actually 2-player. But they actually improved the training mode as well. So they have the Apprentice Trials and the Warrior Trials. There's even training media, so you can actually even watch videos. I know this kind of sounds a little silly to watch videos, but you can also do a training mode. You can select the opponent, who you want to fight, select the map, what kind of map you want to actually do. But for now, we'll just do a basic watch here, because I actually want to show one thing. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. The reason why I'm actually streaming this is because Exposure and a couple of the other guys, they actually tried the starter edition, and they actually hated the game. And I kind of want to explain why this game got a very bad rap. And I think it was never properly explained what this game actually was at its core. And that's honestly what I want to achieve, is basically show what this game really is. So this is the training mode here. We have a bot here. He's actually not going to do anything. He's basically just going to stand and just defend. But this game, at its core, is actually a fighting game. And that sounds a little strange, because it's 3D combat here. You actually have... Each of your characters have a move set. There's only light attacks and heavy attacks. If anything, for new time, I would say get the Starter Edition. Start with the Starter Edition and give the game a shot. You have access to the all the Vanguard classes. You own those. So that's what you can actually play. But you can also play the the other classes of the Knights faction, but you still would need to recruit them. So I think if you want to do like the customization and such, you'll need to pay the 8,000 steel. And that's something you get every single match. It's a lot, I will say that much. I mean, it is a lot, because that's Ubisoft's business strategy, is try and convince people to exchange real money for their in-game currency. But the game gives you a lot of ways to get steel. And I mean a lot, and I'll actually show that in a little bit, though. But at the core, this game is actually a fighting game. Each class has something very specific to them. So, like the Warden class here, he's effectively like your most basic class. And so, being the most basic and simplistic fighter, this is the one I actually like the best. And the only one I'm actually good at, and I will show you why. So the Warden here, he actually gets a light attack combo. He can actually just do 2 quick light attacks if the first one hits. And so basically, if the first one lands, you can just press your light attack button again, and it'll just do a second one instantly. And then he also has Crushing Counter-Strike. You can normally do counterattacks with heavy attacks in this game, but if you're the Warden, you can actually, if it's a top stance, they're attacking you from the top, you can actually do a light attack, and if you time it right, you can actually get a free counterattack. But it shows here your entire move list here. So we've got the basic ones: Vanguard's Advance, Guardian Assault, and such. Honestly, don't worry so much about the names. Like I said, you basically have light attacks, which is R1, heavy attacks, which is R2. But we can actually hold down guard button here. And it just, honestly, I would say this game probably works better with keyboard, but I acclimated towards mouse. So we have light attack here. And then we also have heavy attack. Something very simple. Actually, what I can also do, I can also, let's see, where was that option? I can actually do one little thing here. Gear stats, attack stats. Here you go. Like I said, the training mode, they improved this dramatically. But you can see my combos here, so I can actually... So basically, you also deflect in what stance you have. So you have left stance, right stance, and top stance. So, those are your 3 stances. So if I attack and he's defending on his... I'm basically in the right stance, he's defending his left here. I attack him, it's gonna block. No matter what I do. I can keep on attacking as much as I want. He's just gonna keep blocking. But you can see the combos there, so I could do Vanguard's Advance here, so attack, attack. And there you go, follow through. You weren't kidding, the training mode? Yep. And I think that's the big thing, like, Exposure and all his friends and stuff, they tried it, they just jumped on in doing, like, 2v2 and 4v4. They were honestly having a good time, I think. But it's hard to understand what this game actually is. So I'm probably just going to kill this guy here and just get a new character up. Wait for him. There he is. So I can actually just do Guardian's Assault, so I can do attack once. And it just shows, like, hey, you've done this move. And there's Warden's Wrath. But what's also nice is I can actually change my stance mid-attack. So I can do a attack from the left, and then switch my attack on the, to a top stance. Or I could attack from the left, and then attack from the right. But then you also have, in this game, guard breaks. Now, guard breaks is effectively your grabs in any sort of fighting game. So I can just press X, I'll grab him, and you can also counter grab as well if your timing is right. So, like, if that shield comes up there, but if you grab them, you can actually throw them, you can switch positions with them. Oh, the combat's is absolutely insane. But you can also grab them and do it, and actually lead into attacks as well. But it's also, and this is where the game kind of gets its mature rating, you can actually do something called executes. Now, executes in this game actually heal you. So anytime I execute an enemy, if I'm doing like the 4v4s, I'll actually get healed. One other thing, so I taught you that there's guard breaks. So you can also, for heavy attacks, you can actually press B, and that'll actually cancel your heavy attack. So basically you just do a feint, so I could change that, and then lead into a different attack in another direction. So like, if I'm going to swing and I see him defending the right, I can actually stop, turn around, and attack from attack the opposite direction. But the other thing you can do, of course, you can actually... So it's not just about blocking, it's also about dodging. So I can actually change the AI up a little bit here. Let me see here. Opponent settings. We can actually change him to a preset here. Basically, it's crushing Counter-Strike bait. Yeah, the combat is really in-depth, which is why I'm only good with the Warden class. Let me be frank, I'm actually terrible at this game. I am only good with the Warden class. I'll show you in a second why. I've only entered my time. But actually, you know what? Let me actually show one other thing I completely forgot. This is something exclusive to the Warden. Not just custom moveset. So, when you press A, you can actually dodge left or right or backwards. And you can press it again to do a dodge roll. It actually costs a lot of stamina. That's what the green bar... The white bar is your health, the green bar is your stamina. And if you run out of stamina... Let me actually just run out of it right now. It'll only take a few seconds. The world turns gray. And that just means you're fatigued. And that results in slower swings. I'm just going to execute this guy again. But I won't gain any stamina back if I'm trying to attack. But if you're stuck without any stamina or recovering your stamina, you're extremely fatigued. So you're going to be attacking slower. You're going to be grabbing slower and moving slower. But for dodging, though, you can press left or right, and you'll do a quick dodge in one direction or another. And if you're not in combat mode, you can actually press A and do dodge roll. Or if you are, you can press A twice. At least for backwards, and you can actually do a roll that way as well. But I can actually show a little bit of what the actual AI will actually do here. If I can always remember where the settings are. So I'm going to do preset here. This is just something that's just going to set it up just to do something specific here. I've just been using this so far. There are bot levels that I can actually change in the main menu. So it's not... This, unfortunately, I can't change on the fly. But I can do the preset here. So now he's actually going to attack. So I can show defending here. So he's going to attack. And I can just defend all day. But there's another thing you can do if they actually attack. So let's just see if I can actually do this here. You can actually do a counterattack if you do a heavy attack right as the arrows flash. And that's what you're seeing here. That's a block. But you can actually follow up with that with, say, a grab. And that's how the combat actually works in this game. And there's things actually that are unblockable. So like I can actually do a dash or charge. This is something that's specific to the Warden. So he actually has a shoulder rush. The Warden actually has the smallest moveset out of everyone, but he has a shoulder bash, which is unblockable. Now, unblockable attacks are quite literally that. You can't block them. You have to either dodge them, or if it's an attack, like the swinging their sword, you have to do a counterattack. So it's only one of those two options. You can't just simply block in the same stance. So there's actually quite a bit of in-depth. I could actually show the icon legend here. So you can see there's chain attacks, there's bleeds, there's stuns, knockdowns, infinite attack combos as long as you have the stamina. Block, attack is blocked, there's the unblockable. Full block stance, so there's some classes that can actually just block from all directions. Superior block, parry, pushback, so there's a lot of little things in this game. That's a very technical 3D fighting game. If anything, I'm actually gonna get out of the training mode here, because I've been ranting for 20 minutes here. Because I wanted to actually show what this game actually did. Now, Exposure and his friends really just did custom games, and they didn't really get into the, This is actually probably what they actually played. They played Dominion. And this is a very standard mode here. This was actually a game mode I probably enjoyed, oddly enough, the most, because it's just a lot of people, a lot of chaos, and it's a battlefield. The one downside, though, you can actually see this is all my levels for all my characters. So I have, like, my Kensei's only level 6, my Berserker's only level 6, my Peacekeeper's only level 5, my Warden is prestiged 6 times, so I've played him primarily, and only primarily him. But in the 4v4 modes here, you notice you have loadouts here. There's actually gear in this game that you can actually collect. And they all have different stats. I can actually kind of give a quick overview here. So every single, and this actually changed too. There used to be like a run speed stat on the gear. Now they actually homogenized it a little bit. So every bit of gear and weapons will have defense. Every bit of armor will have defense as a stat. Every single weapon will have attack as a stat. And so you can actually increase or decrease your attack and defense. But you can also improve your other things, such as exhaustion recovery, your debuff resistance, revenge mode. That's actually another thing I'll hopefully I'll be able to actually show. As well, like stamina cost reduction. So there's a lot of things that you can actually improve or decrease to compensate for other stats. So there's a lot of little things you can actually do to customize your characters. It's very small, honestly, improvements, because let's just actually go to my other loadout here. How balanced in the game is your opinion? Hard to say, honestly. That's it. I've been out of the game way too much to say how balanced it is, because it's a 3D fighting game. But at the same time, there's a lot of different moves and such. So I can't actually say if it's balanced or not. They've added too many characters, they've done too many balance changes and such. Honestly, the Warden feels like it hasn't really been changed at all. And it's probably, like, any of the Vanguard classes here. So the Vanguards are the Warden, the Raider, and the Kensei are probably the most straightforward classes you could ever play. I'd say, honestly, the Raider is probably the easiest to fight against, because for me it's easiest because a lot of people just play the Raider. But they also have kind of the slowest attacks as well. So it's like, if most of the time when you start out, you'll be very confused of which direction to actually guard with. But as soon as you're starting to learn, like, what the attack animations are for each of the characters, there are actually blinds in this game, so you actually don't know which direction your enemy is attacking from. But back when I played this game, and you can watch the VODs, well over back in February 2017, I knew the timing, so even if I got blinded or dazed by the Raider here, I knew how to counterattack his attacks, even if I was actually dazed. That's how in-depth you can actually get in this game. You can basically be paralyzed and still defend yourself. That's how that is. But the 4v4s actually have weapon stats and stuff. And that to me was honestly the reason why I kind of titled this is a tale of two games, because at the core of it, this is a fighting game, so you're probably actually... And when this game was basically not many people actually paid attention to the 1v1s or the 2v2s. There were still a lot of people who played it, but most people, including myself, what did we do? We went into Dominion. We wanted to play the 4v4s. And it's because they had the weapons in 4v4, they have gear stats, and they were active. It wasn't really as balanced back then. There were some characters who could basically... you could get weapon stats and armor stats that just made you annihilate other players because you focused your stats in just one category. Dominion is the... There isn't really a main mode. There's actually multiple modes. So, like I said, there's your dual modes, which is the 2v2 and the 1v1. Then there's the 4v4 modes, which are Tribute, Dominion, Elimination, and Skirmish. And then you have now the ranked modes, which is something clearly that they're still in beta. So I'm actually going to select the Warden here. I'm going to use my loadout here. I should also mention, very briefly, there's actually also feats for characters as well. So if you look on the right side here, we have Body Count, that's a passive. So killing soldiers will grant me health and stamina. Then I have a Flash Grenade, which blinds enemies, an Explosive Grenade, and then I have a Catapult, which will actually kill enemies if they get hit by it. Well, if they get hit by the dead center of it. But this is what most people actually played back when this game came out, was the Dominion mode. And I think a lot of people, and this is what like Exposure Group basically did. They did Dominion and they were playing with each other. But you're going to see a lot of different classes here. So we have like the Centurion, I see Nobushi, I see a Conqueror, I see a Peacekeeper. So, in Dominion here, there's 3 capture modes here, and this is kind of where, because you don't really understand it's a fighting game, you kind of just ran on in and just pressed light attack or heavy attack, and you didn't really focus on that. Speaking of raiders and counterattacking immediately... No, I'm actually out of stamina. That's bad.
You lost Zone A.
What?
You captured Zone C.
Oh, I am going to die. So I died there, and he's actually going to revive his ally. So you can revive your allies in this game. But what you really should be paying attention towards, in the upper right-hand corner, you can see there's points there. So one person captured point C, one person, we took point B, which is basically the front. So there's a bunch of soldiers that attack that area, and there's point A. So, like I said, it's very much a straightforward capture point mode. So here we have a nice Centurion here. He is... Oh my god! I am completely helpless here. I literally am just doing this just to get some ground. And he's gonna execute me.
You lost Zone A.
So they finally actually have all the points. So each of the points is actually worth 100 standalone, but they also actually count. You actually gain points by owning the zone. And you can even boost that by +1 per second by defending or standing in the zone. So you're actually artificially boosting it. Like I said, I'm not good against the Centurions or all the new characters because I've never played them. Or really fought against them or know how to fight against them. So, like I said, we have Zone C here. We have that captured. So, probably don't really want to fight him there. I see another person actually coming another direction. I can actually get the execute here. And then I can switch over. So, like, I was dazed there, and I actually figured out where I could actually attack. So, like, if you really get good at this game and you're good at the timings, you could actually counterattack someone, even if they actually basically blind you. They can also throw you off the edge. Oh no!
You captured Zone A.
I am going off an edge here. Oh, and that's what makes this game enjoyable. That's really what makes this game actually really enjoyable. Like, it can flow in one, the combat can basically turn on you on a dime. But most people, if they play this game and they didn't really study the game, you're not gonna know what to do, you don't know how to fight. And if you're really good at this game, you could actually do... That person was really good. Oh my god, there's 3 of them. I am so dead. I am very much dead. Nope. That was a horrible, horrible 3-on-1. So that revenge there that I did, what that actually does is gives you like a shield health.
You lost Zone A.
So you actually end up being able. So even though I have like my main health bar, I'll gain basically a shield health for a limited time, but I'll also have stronger attacks. I think I can also, if I grab an enemy, they'll actually just fall down on their butts, which will let me, you know, set up open for attacks. And your feats there, you can actually see I just gained level 3 there for level 3. So now I have my bombs, and I also have blind as well. If I could actually use it. Have a bomb. And I just used all my stamina like an idiot. I am not good at that. The gladiators are really good. Yeah, I'm not. Nope. I should have kept guarding. I should have stayed in guard mode.
You lost Zone C.
And that is a... So, the one thing I'm actually noticing, you can actually buy, in this game, additional executes. I'll actually show that after this match. Like I said, you play this type of game, you mainly want to like Dominion specifically, you want to focus on capturing the points and holding on to them as best you can. And you saw that the medic sign turn into a skull there. Yeah, they turned into a skull. That is such a slow attack. Lunar Eclipse guy knows how to play this class.
You lost Zone A.
Is he really actually charging in? That's not smart, actually. Yeah, no, I'm gonna ignore him, because if I fight him, I'm wasting time and points. Good, he actually knows.
You captured Zone C.
So now that we have 1,000 points here, they're in a breaking state. So if we kill them, they actually will not respawn. I actually need to get out of here. Okay. And that leads to that. And there's only one enemy left, somewhere. And there was someone who's dead. I don't know where. Oh, there's. So that was the catapult. That was all my feats. I usually choose the active ones. So it's now a 1v. So it's basically just that Lawbringer there. So each of these minions here, if I kill them, I have a feat that gives me health and stamina back. And if you also notice, they also give +1 here. They'll also add to the counter. So that's how if you don't sit at A or B and such, you can actually just gain points by killing the soldiers at the front. So, did they revive someone? They revived someone. They actually revived someone. And of course, you do have your mini-map as well. Oh, let's actually get you up. So, there is actually a downside if multiple people try and gang up on a player. They can actually get their revenge meter faster by blocking attacks from the other enemies. There you go, we won. Lunar Eclipse, you do not need to say sorry about this, ganks. You did an awesome job. You were really good. I am a very rusty and terrible player at this game, and I am impressed at how good you are at that Centurion class. That was a good match, man. That was a very good match. I don't have the Centurion unlocked. Like I said, it's been a year and 4 months since I've actually played this game. So I am going to quit just to show one thing here, because I also forgot. I'm going to actually say no to that, Lunar Eclipse, but I did have a lot of fun playing with you, man. It was a good match. You kicked my butt left, right, and center, and I had a good time. So the other thing I probably actually should show in this game is actually the store. So like I said, this game does run on Steel, so very much like Rainbow Six Siege, they're actually based on playing the game, earning Steel, and that'll help you unlock classes, redesign, or not redesign, I guess change the cosmetic of any of the armor and weapons, so you can actually do that in this game, so you're not just stuck looking like... What does ProZD, the YouTube channel, said? That is my ass-kicking outfit. Where he puts on, like, a weird scarf, a awkward set of shoes, and glasses. You know, kind of like how you play a lot of games. It's like, well, I just look like a mess. So you can actually use real money to turn into Steel. But honestly, you don't really need to, actually. This game does a good enough job.
Enjoy your stay.
Thank you very much, Lunar Eclipse. I hope to see you on the battlefield. The game actually does a good job. You get dailies every single day, and you'll get Steel and experience. But you also get contract orders, which changes, I believe it's every 48 hours. I think it's 48 hours. It could be 24. I've actually completed most of them. There's PvP and PvE ones, and usually you can just see, it's like, it either has showing people, or it shows AI and the symbol there on the far left. But you can also gain a lot of experience, and the experience just goes to the class you're playing for that match, or when you complete the orders, and you also get Steel. So like this one here, so 150, 150, 150, 100, 100, 200. And a lot of them, I think a lot of them are very friendly. So it's like, just complete 3 Dominion matches. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, just play. Perform 4 executions. Might be a little bit more difficult, but it's Dominion, so you can usually go like 3v1 against a person. You'll probably actually be the person to get a heavy attack in to get the execute. But there's others, and this is where I go from I'm competent to I'm terrible. Complete 4 matches with different heroes, and they constantly change. So they're constantly different. But that's actually the business model end. And like I said, you can actually just change the cosmetic of your gear, so I can actually change my, Gilgamesh blade here. It actually will give me the option, so you can actually dismantle it for salvage. And that's actually what you use to change the visuals of it. So I can actually change the visuals of the Gilgamesh blade here, so, you know, it kind of looks nice. But I can also change it to a Magnus blade, a Galdwin blade. So there's a lot of different extra cosmetics and such. that you could actually change it towards. And you can see, like, there's the Bellius Blade. That actually looks like an Elven sword. And every single class, like, the team who made For Honor had to do a lot of cosmetics. Or have done a lot of cosmetics. So every single class can look extremely different. So, like, we have, what is it, this Merope, not Merope arms here. Let's take the, Lord of Manor chest here. So I can actually, you can also upgrade. It costs, steel and salvage. And that can actually increase the stats of your armor and such as well. And depending on what your level and how many times you prestige will also determine the quality. So, like this heroic level, this epic level, but as you start with level 0, so I'll actually go down to a, let's go down to the Kensei here. I can customize here. So I have an extra hilt here. You can see, it's common. Very straightforward. So I go to a Kimura hilt here, but it'll improve my revive speed just a little bit. And there's always little pros and cons you get by changing your gear and changing your builds. But for most people though, like I said, you'll find a class, you'll have a good time playing the game. But most people, they played the battle mode, and I think that's where, like, Dominion, and that's where most people really, like, that's where it becomes polarizing. Either you liked it, or you hated it, and you never really understood that it was a fighting game. Like, and that includes myself. It took a while for me to actually understand, like, oh, this is a fighting game. But you can actually go to the duels here. I'm probably gonna get my butt kicked, just to let you know. And you can just go up against one other person, or 2v2. And sometimes it does take a while to actually find another person, so that, like any sort of online game, it'll slowly increase the region. And I think, honestly, since they're offering the starter edition for free for this game, I honestly say, if you don't own For Honor, and you're interested in a very unique 3D fighting game, I say get it. Just download it. It's free. It's nice, quick, and easy. So I'm actually going to pick the Warden, because like I said, Warden is the only class I know. I'm terrible with every other class in this game. And I'm not shy of it. Although I hate fighting the Nobushi. Out of every single class in this game, I hate the Nobushi, because she has something called Hidden Stance. And so, when you actually attack, like, the Nobushi can basically make her stances invisible. So I actually don't know which direction she'll actually come from. But you can see duel, best one out of round 1 out of 5. There's even emotes and stuff. I'll actually show those next match. Ah, darn it. That's actually a problem! Oh, I got lucky there. I got lucky there. I'll show the cosmetics after this, after the duel here. On. So the Nobushi actually has a bleed. Ah, darn it. So the Nobushi actually has a bleed that'll just slowly decrease your health. And there's nothing you can do about it. If you're bleeding, you're bleeding. Oh, I should also mention, this game actually does have environmental hazards. Hopefully I can actually convince this person to actually show it to me. Yeah, so you can actually hit them in the saw blades. Oh, there you go. So if you get knocked in the saw blade and you don't have enough health, you can actually die to hazards. Thank you, Nobushi, for doing that for me.
Round 4.
And there's other hazards. Like I said, I fell off the cliff in the last round, so you can actually die that way as well. I need my stamina back. Oh, he got me with a poke. By the way, you can also edit your emblems as well. And of course, if you actually complete a match, like, not custom games, but just normal matches, you can also get loot in this game. So we actually have... I don't understand the strategic territory loot part, but you can basically see, like, this helmet here will give me... I'll actually leave this match here. I'll actually show that in a second here. I can just do it right over here. I can go to helmets here. So you can see, not all helmets are the same. So this Fendril helmet we got... You can see it reduces the debuff resistance, so I'm actually more susceptible to debuffs. But in compensation, I get more exhaustion recovery and more defense out of it. And defense and attack are honestly very balanced, regardless if you're starting out new and such. It's primarily the things like the exhaustion recovery, the debuff, the revenge mode, those substats. Those are the ones that really improve as you focus playing that single class. So there is a benefit to focusing and just playing a class you actually enjoy, rather than feeling like you need to play every single class in the game. Like, as long as you're aware of the movesets or like the animations and such. But what I wanted to actually show here, since we're actually talking about cosmetics here. So there's cosmetics in this game. You can actually change the character's classes, so you can be male or female. You can also change the skin color of the characters as well, so there's a lot of friendly customization. So if you like inserting yourself, just to let you know, probably not going to see the actual, you know, like Warden, you don't see the skin color of the character at all, but other classes you do. This game also has outfits that you can actually pay with steel. Like I said, there's always something you can actually use steel towards, whether it's unlocking other classes or any of the other additional characters, buying cosmetics, or actually there's one other thing actually I should probably actually show. Let me actually go back to the store here. There's actually something called champion status here. Now you can actually buy this with steel, and what it actually does, it's effectively like the prestige system in Rainbow Siege 6, so you can actually basically get more experience as you're playing, let your allies get more experience, and you can buy it with steel. So you can buy like a year's worth of champion status, and it's real time, just to let you know, so if you buy like 3 days worth, you're gonna want to actually commit to playing the 3 days worth. And it's gonna tell you when it will actually end as well. So like right now I have 20 days left to champion status here. If I can increase it by 3 days, 7 days, a month, all the way up to a year. So if you're really hardcore on playing the game and you want to get more salvage, you want to get more items, you want to get more experience for the characters, which will lead to more unlocks in this game, which is like all the cosmetics and stuff, then you might want to consider like investing in that. So the game always has something for you to buy, either with real money or with steel. But, you know, I told you that there was execution in this game, and there's also emotes. You can actually buy emotes as well. And they actually are, you know, very kind to actually show you what they actually do. So, like, this free roam combat, and then there's, when you're in guard mode, you also have these as well. And they always give you 2, just to start out with. Even a polite salute. But, obviously what you probably saw here was the executions here. So if you actually land a heavy attack as the killing blow, you can actually get these executes. And they've added a lot over the years. So there's Guts Then Chop, a nice decapitation move. There's Shoulder Tackle. And then Righty, or Rightly. Some are a bit more humorous. Blackstone Bash. Spinning Decapitation. Taking out the trash. Moment of silence. And the one thing I'll say about it, the one thing I noticed that was weird about the executions in this game, the fancier or the longer the animations are, the more they delay your respawn. So technically, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, there's actually a benefit to buying the more fancier executions in this game. But why don't you keep actually trying some of the other modes here? Let's actually show off the tribute mode here. This is something that was new that I never got to play. And I think it's kind of unique. For game mode. I don't think a lot of people would probably like it, because it's like capture the flag times 3. And what your goal is, you're supposed to take the tribute flags and bring them back to your base. And when you bring them back to your base, they can be stolen again. Basically, you're competing against the other team for a set of 3 flags, and it's the first person that captures all 3 flags win. Or whoever has the most points after the end of a certain amount of time. I don't think a lot of people play this game mode, though. That's one thing I've noticed. A lot of people don't really play the tribute mode. Because, like I said, a lot of people, when they play a game or they get it with friends, they're gonna gravitate towards, like, the Dominion mode. When they probably honestly should be playing, like, the Duel and the Brawl mode, if anything else. Just so they can actually understand the fighting in this game. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna play the Warden because I have the champion status, gains more experience, and I want to actually get all the unlocks and such. Well, maybe not all of them. That's way too many reputation levels I'd have to unlock. But I'm actually very glad they... It honestly feels like they went to dedicated servers. If they're still using mesh PvP, mesh to mesh, or a mesh peer-to-peer network, I will be shocked. Honestly, after all this time. So I can actually show the map here. So we have the white markers there. Those are the 3 flags. There's their base. There's ours. So so we're blue. I believe, yeah, we're blue. So basically, we have to capture those flags and bring all 3 back to our base. This is gonna be an ugly match. So my skill says here, it's on par with allies, but my skill is higher than your enemies. But I think that's based on time you've played with that class. There are some people who are just naturals. So they're showing the 3 tributes there. Like I said, very straightforward. You need to run up to them, capture them, and bring them back to your base.
Begin.
So here's a nice easy one, so I can actually... Oh, they're not even active yet. I guess I have to wait. Hello! How are you? Oh, please. Yes! Into the lava you go! Ah, damn it. So if you get hit... Okay. So, because I ran out of stamina there... Alright, I'm just gonna take that. And that back to base. So you are slower when you actually do get this. I'm actually gonna just plant that right there. And that actually gives our team a blessing, which is increased attack. So now we know they have 2 blessings, but I'm gonna stick behind. Wish there was actually a way to heal, though. It's the one downside. So this is kind of more of like some person has to play defense, one person has to play offense. And I should probably try and keep a look on the marker. Oh, that's not a winning fight, is it? No, it actually might be. Hi there. How's it going? I want your stuff. That is not a smart idea, because that guy swings very slowly.
You have 2 offerings.
So I'm actually gonna respawn here and try and run to our base to try and defend the 2 we have. Because we are being invaded. No, you don't. What? I gotta be careful of friendly fire. Alright. No, you don't. Stop that. And in the lava yo. Like I said, I love the fact there's a lot of... I totally screwed that up. So, the way you do counterattacks in this game, it's very hard to notice at times. That's a big penalty for dying. Oh, it's a score penalty. Okay. I guess if you're doing better in this game, you have a longer respawn time. That's actually pretty cool. So we captured all 3, so now they have to at least grab one of the tributes out of our sockets here. So they are probably going to make a rush for that. So right now the job is just to stall. There we go. And we won.
Well done.
I'd imagine if you get people who are really skilled, this could easily take a while, because you'll have a lot more people who are focused on playing defense and focused on playing offense. There we go. And we prestiged. There's 20 levels per prestige. Is that a higher tier than the orange? We've gone to teal. Legendary. Interesting. Also, the eye there just means you've added a cosmetic to your collection. I'm actually just gonna quit out of this one here. But like I said, that was Tribute. Like I said, a lot of people will play the Dominion mode. You can even see, it'll tell you low activity, very high activity, medium activity. So you can actually always know how much activity there actually is in each of the game modes here. So like there's low activity for the betas here. And you know, let's play another Dominion. Like I said, like I said, what made this game very conflicting, and I think Total Biscuit said it best, it's a tale of two games. This is a game that was so divided in its game modes that it effectively split its own player base. And so people who... You know, there were probably very few people... And because it was divided into game modes, it was hard to get people to understand what this game really was about. Or how to, not really properly play this game, but just what the foundation of the game actually was. And I think because of that, if you're just jumping in, it's like, oh, let's just play, you know, with, you know, everyone's just starting out just playing like, hey, let's just fight each other. You're not going to know how to play the game. Or you're going to know what to do. Because, I'll be honest, like, the downside of this game is that there's a lot you have to absorb. Oh. Okay, hello. Could you stop attacking in one direction? Oh, there was someone behind me. I was wondering what else was going on there. So if the enemy actually does pull off an execution, you actually do get punished by having your respawn timer increase. Like, this is honestly a very complex game. It really is. And you really have to... Ah, darn it. I was about to do revenge, and I got tapped with a light attack at the very end. I don't think they're gonna win, because they're all over there in the center. So I could actually wait for a revive. That is technically an option. So I can just kill these guys for experience. And I'm out of stamina. Oh my goodness. No. Stop that. Take him down. Punish them all. Just gonna get some health back. What? Ah, there is friendly fire in this game. Ah, darn it. So if you get counter-grabbed like that guy's doing, and that's why I say keyboard and mouse in this game is superior, because I'm used to playing with gamepad, but playing with a keyboard and mouse just makes things... You can just respond a lot faster. Because this is about a game, just like any other fighting game, it's about reacting faster, or having faster inputs. Now, like, there's no reason for me to fight you. There's no reason for me to fight you right now. Let me just take that advantage. Yeah, so now we're breaking.
team rallied.
We're breaking, we're recovering, we're breaking. Oh no, that's not good. Ah, nope.
Lost zone C.
Nope. I'm not gonna be able to respond on that. I think that's the reason why people don't like the
Captured zone A.
the 4v4 mode, because you don't really learn the technical aspects, and it's very easy just to be grouped up on. And when you're grouped up on in a game like this, it's not going to be fun for anyone. Because you're not really figuring out, how do I get better at this game? If you really want to get better at this game, you've got to learn what your moveset is, how fast it'll actually take you for you to actually attack. I guess there is a level above Legendary. That's surprising. Like I said, you had 50 steel per match, and we almost had 1137, or 1337. You can even see some gear. They're just solely focused on one stat. Just completely. You can get something in this game that just gives you like, okay, you could gain your revenge as quickly as possible. I should probably actually show the other modes here. But like I said, if you really actually want to be good with this game, there's even, actually, I should also mention this as well, there's even a play AI mode for everything. So I can actually go up against an AI here. And there's a lot of customization you can do. You'll still gain experience, you'll still gain, you'll basically gain everything that you need. I don't know. Oh, that's just messages from the previous game. So you can actually just fight AI. And it's honestly a good way of, like, learning how to fight. I'd say the training mode is now officially better. Why, out of all things, I got an Ibushi? So you can learn if you're trying to do a guard break.
Victory. Round 2.
Like I said, this game has a lot of nice little things to it. Like I said, I probably would focus more of your time on, like, trying to learn how the game's combat system works. So, like, you can dodge through attacks, what to do when you're actually out of stamina.
Victory.
So it's like you can even play all the, like, every single mode you can play against AI. And I think, actually, there's a parameter which you can actually set the AI as well. Oh, also, I should mention, your weapons can also be blocked by your area as well. Like I said, if you ever wanted to, like, learn your movesets and stuff, do the dual modes, do the training modes. And honestly, like I said, the more I think the big thing is, like, if you actually are willing to invest and try and build an understanding of the games that you play, it'll be a lot more of an enjoyable experience. Because as much as you'd like to think, like, oh, this person just has better gear, they're going to be better than me. Not really. That's actually not so much. Like, you do, however, get a lot less experience and a lot less steel. So there's actually is at least something. I should also mention, you can also deploy troops as well. And this is like their own little game as well. I don't understand it completely. Like, it's basically their way of, like, letting you play through seasons and such, which, honestly, is actually pretty smart. Like, it doesn't make the game, it doesn't add towards the core gameplay, but it's a nice little thing while you're playing. Although I think many people kind of just, they don't really pay attention to it. At least if you're a solo player. I think if you're more, like, organized or in touch with the actual community... Oh, not a community. That's actually probably the wrong way to say it. The player base. Like, if you actually organize with other players of whatever faction you join. Because it's very rare you see a three-group conflict. Like, it'll actually hit some sort of equilibrium. Really? That didn't hit him. Oh, no, now it did. I was gonna say, I'm surprised the saw didn't hit him. Like I said, you could throw your opponent in any and all directions. I think you'd even make them harder, more difficult, too. So, like, I think this is actually a good way to, like, learn how to pull off your combos, counterattack with heavy attacks and such, and really study your class. So, like, a Warden honestly really wants to stay up at the top stance, because he can actually get a light attack. Surprised he actually hasn't done any. Goodbye.
Victory.
They also did do a very nice thing and actually add complete controller customization as well. So not only do you have complete keyboard customization, you have complete controller customization as well. So you're not stuck with, like, whatever the default is. Like I said. Like, you could actually dodge out of the way of attacks. I'm so slow. I always react to that too quickly. Nope, I reacted too early. Like, once you actually really get into this game, like, you could... And I've seen people do this. You can fight 3 people at once and actually come out the victor because of the revenge mode mechanic. Like, it's... What is it? Like, ARMS, actually... was very reminiscent. I did that way too early. So what you just saw there in that instant, instead of using a heavy attack, the Warden, if he's defending from top, he can actually also counterattack with a light attack. And if you actually succeed, you'll actually do a counterattack and get a free hit in, which will then chain into your other attacks. And of course, anytime you level up, you get yourself some free gear as well. Also, some orders. Yeah, so let me actually quit out to world map here. So actually, there is, if you play like against parameters, you can't really do much against. Actually, you can. So there's join in progress. You could fight bots, gear stats. You can actually. Let me see here. I think it's an AI thing only. So like you can actually. No, I guess it's not. I guess it's probably the 4v4 mode. And this is just the 1v1. So there are actual modifiers and such. And I think actually it's more towards something with the. I guess it doesn't. It's a lot. I know in battle, like for Dominion, you can do. Whoops, I have to set it to AI first. Where? I could have sworn you could turn that on and off. There it is. Yeah, so you could turn off the matchmaking. So you can basically just like, if you really actually want to, you can play this game just by yourself doing the multiplayer modes, or with like a group of friends, and just fight AI. Like whether you have 2 people or 3 people, like the options are there. I will agree though, a lot of people get. It's a very clunky menu system. Like I will completely agree with Exposure. It's your first time playing through this game. You're not gonna go. You're like, let's be honest. Half of the front menu is an ad. Like the moment you start up, it's a mess here. It's like they're throwing ads at you. You know, here's news and ads. So it's like extra XP fest, improve your gear, co-op story mode, try something different, want more gear. All of these are little ads that are there. But then when you actually go into the multiplayer, most people aren't going to look at press X for parameters and actually see like, oh, I could turn matchmaking on or off. I could play with a bunch of randoms. Or I can actually, see, like, what the options are here. Like, how's the game mode actually, what are the rules for this game mode here? What are the maps? I think, actually, if I turn off everything... No, actually, it looks like I actually can't change anything. I know in Custom Match, there is a Custom Match mode. Yeah, so right here, Custom Match, there's Quick Match. But I've never actually done Quick Match, so... Okay, you have a playlist. Interesting. Quick Match did not exist back when I played this game. You can vote on the map, too. Let's see here. Which one's a good one? I don't actually... Yeah, I'll just vote for this. A lot of people don't vote, so it literally is one person voting can dictate what map you play on in this game. But like I said, there's a lot of different classes in this game. And they all have each of them have a very unique playstyle and a very unique moveset. And they each take their own time to actually get used to. Like, the core is the same, but they all have their advantages and disadvantages. That's what I say. It's like, honestly, Star Edition's free right now. I say download it. If you don't like it, or if you're not really... Because I'll be honest, can't really think of any 3D fighters, honestly, that have actually been somewhat of a success. And you definitely will never get an experience like For Honor. Now, whether it's balanced or not, well, that's a whole different story altogether, but... I think if you're willing to understand that this is a fighting game, first and foremost, and then understand all the other stuff that's not duel and brawl are just extra game modes, and that doing 4v4 expect things to be extremely unfair. Like I said, I think if you're starting out, it's probably honestly best to either do like the story mode, or play the duels, play against the AI, play against or do the training modes, do the training exercises that exist. Because if you don't do those and just jump straight into the game, you're going to have a terrible time, and you're going to think this game is terrible. And I think... And that's where, honestly, I disagree with Exposure. Is, like... A lot of games... are actually a lot more complex than what people instantly think. And I think a lot of, games that people really love either really build off their own experience or like previous experiences, so they actually already know what to do. Or they actually just figure it out. Or they read an instruction manual, or they study a game and such. And so when you have something like that, it just works. What the heck was that? No, he's gonna block that. Or he didn't block it. I'm actually surprised. He didn't block it. Oh, someone else helped me. I don't know how another person helped me, but they did. So, like, if I sit here on Zone C, we're getting a boost. So for every point they get every second, we are getting 2. But you can see... Where is he? I'm actually really impressed. Nope, 3v1, not gonna win that one. Goodbye. I had a nice head.
You captured Zone A.
But in exchange, though, for them focusing all their players, we got 2 points to their 1 now. Like, the nice thing about Dominion is that you don't have to be the best fighter. Strategy becomes important here as well. And that's a really nice thing about this game. Like, if you're a smart player, like, obviously a better group of players will obviously win the day, because they're better fighters, they know how the game mechanics work and such. But if they're on skill or on par with each other, a person who's a better knows how to do strategy. This guy knows how to fight. That person knows how to fight as well. And that was an unblockable attack. So the only thing I could have done was either dodge or parry. And someone got me up. That's actually surprising. Oh, it's 3v1. That explains it. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna sit here then. So, also, if you stand here, you can also heal as well. If you own either point A or C, or whichever ones are the bases. So there is actually a point to just standing and guarding a point. What's also really cool is just like, you can just look far into the distance and see the battle rage. Like, that... My ally just fell into a pit. My other ally just activated his revenge mode. And it's also really cool seeing this. Like, you know it's the battle that's actually happening. You know, the front is the front. Probably actually capture that. Because it's 2-1 on there. Like, you can also land... I'm gonna actually take the ladder here. You can even actually attack on the stairs and such, too. That is one thing you can do.
You lost Zone A.
Of course, there's still some people who just end up leaving. What the? Alright. Is this a player? Oh, I'm surrounded.
You captured Zone A.
Oh, that's a bot. Well, that was a bot.
You captured Zone C.
Oh, there was another player. Ah, darn it, that was in range. I was still in range of the axe. See, I just think it, like, it's a really well done, this is honestly a really well done game. But I think the hard part is actually, honestly, this game actually only had the 1v1 and the 2v2 at first. Or just 4v4 elimination. I think people would have actually acclimated to this game a whole lot better. Because they needed to express to people that this is a fighting game. This is not like a Dark Souls game or in terms of combat, even though it is as simplistic as Dark Souls. I'm dead. That player is way too good.
Enemy team is breaking.
Can you people, please? I'm gonna go off the edge. And to the pit I go.
The enemy rally.
See, there are some people who just... And I think that's where this game is now, is that you have this super hardcore base that plays this game, which is good. Like, that's honestly how games survive in the long term. But the downside of it is that the skill gap of this game is so massive, where a person like myself, I'm playing my best class. Imagine if I was playing any of the other classes. And I think there's what? Let me think about this. How many classes are there? 4, 5, 6, 6. So there's 18 classes in this game now. Yeah, so now it's not going to matter if they actually capture another point. If they capture all the points, then we're in trouble. So I am actually going to go and capture point B here. Oh, it's the bot. I do not know his attack animations yet for this class. The heck was that?
Victory.
I am so confused, but that, my ally just saved me. But, like, they fixed it. Like, honestly, the core thing, though, they fixed the latency and disconnect and connection issues. That's the most important thing. They fixed that. Lord of the Manor Helm. Wow, they really did add a lot of cosmetics. They really did add a lot of cosmetics. So, like, you can even do a 2v2 or 2v1 AI, which is also really nice as well. And you can even turn off, like, the matchmaking as well. I think that's, like, the only thing you can do for the main game modes. You can turn on or off the matchmaking, so you can actually just have all AI if you wanted. But, like I said, the game becomes more unique if you... Like, if it just had the elimination modes, it just had the 2v2s and 1v1... I think people would have enjoyed or understood. I think that's the big thing. I think when you, and that's a fighting game. That's a problem a lot of fighting games have. they don't have... Players misunderstand what their game is actually about. And, like, I'll be honest, like, something like For Honor is a hard sell. It's a very complex fighting game system. There's a lot of depth into it, and you have to make a big investment. Not like an emotional investment or anything like that. Like, you actually have to really invest the time to understand the foundation of the game. And I think if you're not, like, reading instruction booklets or going through the training modes or tutorials and you just jump straight on in, because most people have that expectation now, it sends the wrong... people will get the wrong message. They won't understand. It's like, oh, there's actually, you know, you not only are attacking, there's a grapple in the system, there's counter-attacking in this game, there's dodging in the game, and all of them, you know, there's feinting attacks in this game, and all of them build into each other, where players are figuring out how to actually get a couple of hits in. Because I can only imagine some really, really good players in this game where it literally might actually just simply come down to reflexes. I think the one time, like, they actually tried, like, they also did try to make this esports, and I think that's honestly a miss. A lot of games are having a problem with. The only people who can really make it in esports is the player base itself. Oh, that's cute. Someone actually made a YouTube emblem. So you can also customize and make your own emblems and stuff. Like, that's not... What you're actually seeing, what I'm wearing, obviously it's the Twitch's logo. That's actually something you create. So Biggest actually created a YouTube logo on his emblem. And there is an emblem editor. Like, I made one of that, and when Force Gaming on YouTube tried out this game, I actually made an emblem for him. And like I said, this could honestly just be something as simple as... Oh.
That's not a trial. That's an execution. What are you doing?
I'm terrible at the counter guard breaking. So you can counter it, but I'm terrible at that aspect of the game. But what's also really cool, what I could have actually done is actually revived my ally. Ah, shoot. That's what I said. Keyboard in this game is so much better than gamepad. Keyboard is so much better. Just simply because... And this is the big thing, is the custom, or the standard layout for the gamepad. It's a huge switch between having to move your hand away from the right joystick to then pressing X, which is the guard break button. And that's also your counter guard break. And that's why people have a, that's why playing this on keyboard is so much better. Like, it might change because you can now do customization now, but... But a lot of people are actually, funny enough, are actually pretty honorable about this game. They will actually... Like, they won't actually... Because they know if you go 2v1, the other person will just be adding to the other player's revenge meter. I'm actually surprised they let them, he let him execute his ally, because he could have interrupted that. Like, what... Biggest here is honestly a very good example of a person who demonstrates how advanced this gameplay actually can become. It's not just a button masher. You'd be lucky, honestly, if it was a button masher. Yeah, I had no stamina. Also, when you have no stamina, you're also, when you have no stamina, you do less damage as well. You can also interrupt attacks, because there is not friendly fire in the sense of doing damage. It's friendly fire in the sense that you're actually, will interrupt your ally. So you can actually interrupt your ally. But like I said, I am atrocious when it comes to, this game modes, like, straight up dueling. Because it's been a very long time, and it takes a lot of effort to actually really become good with the class, and at the same time, know the attack animations of your allies, or of the other classes and such, because it's something that is actually really important. And when it comes to duels and brawls, there are no gear stats or anything like that. Those are completely turned off. So you can see gear stats are off. You can turn them on in custom mode if you actually want to have gear stats. There's why. So I think, yeah, so in profile here, you can actually go into the emblem editor, and you can actually... You can have up to 4 different emblems, and you can even edit all of them. So it's actually very nice. So there's a lot of little customization that you can actually do. So you can actually change the background, change, I think it's, was it, oh, they even, how nice, they added a randomize option. And you can even rotate things as well. And there's even an outline as well. So, like, there's an Ubisoft Club one here. Some of them are actually pretty nice. There's a nice lion and bear. Yeah, lion and bear. Another bear. There's a skull one. Like I said, there's a lot of customization you can actually get. We're just gonna... No, I don't want to save the emblem. Apply. Or, fine, whatever. Still gonna use this one. What's this say? Okay, that's just your ranking system for the, new rank, for the new betas. So, I actually do have a mission here. I'll actually show... so you can actually even set a preferred mode. So I'll actually set this to... I'll show you how kind of crazy elimination can actually get here. Skirmish. So as it says here, earn points by killing the enemy. Once you've earned 1,000 points, that's when the enemy will reach a breaking point, and that's where they won't respawn anymore. Elimination, you only have 1 life. And you just go against 3 rounds. So it's just like Duel, it's just like Brawl. It's the first to 3 victories will win. I don't understand why they made that. Like, they could have had 4 4v4 game modes, but I kind of understand why they did it. But I think, honestly, Elimination should have been its own standalone category, because you get a lot of people who will... Well, first off, you could have actually see, like, what do people actually want to do more? Do they want to do Skirmish more, or do they want to do Elimination? And... there's even daily orders and such. Excuse me. Just needed a drink there. There's even daily orders that say it's like you have to play elimination mode. You have to play skirmish mode. There we go. Finally got enough people. You can also, I should have actually said this. You can also change your feats and such as well. So there's a lot of different things you can actually add or change in your playstyle when it comes to each of the classes. Each class has like a standard set of feats, but they also have a more class-specific set. I think like the Peacekeeper, for example, she has a feat where if you actually do reach the level for it, if you die, you basically become a ticking time bomb. And you'll take out enemies that are within your radius. Yeah, so you can actually parry attacks. And that's what the heavy attack is for. Like, if an enemy swings at me, the moment that triangle turns red in the way the direction they're attacking, I can press a heavy attack and follow up with it and do a counterattack. Yep. So the one difference here for elimination, it'll always pair you up against someone, but at the same time, there's also, we're just gonna fight this guy. We can actually fight a raider. I can probably beat this guy. Oh, I can't. I'm off. I'm out the edge. So the downside is if you get thrown off the edge, it can't be revived, obviously. But you can also see... Yeah, so I actually did enough damage. The Peacekeeper here, who I'm following right now and spectating, there are actually buffs on the field
Victory.
that you can actually pick up. So there's an attack buff that if you stand in the circle long enough, you'll actually get the buff.
Round 2.
Yeah, there you go. That's when I did the, Nah, of course. So, what that Nobushi does, even though I'm focused on the Orochi, the spear woman there, the Nobushi, as she's known as long as I'm having my stance off to the right there, I was able to actually block her attacks, and that helped me build up my revenge meter a lot faster.
Round 3.
And that's where, like I said, this game does apply the gear stats for the other modes. Ah, darn it. Ah, of course, and I'm gonna get executed for that. Good fight. So I can't be revived, but the other two players can. So the Peacekeeper can somehow get to her ally, which unfortunately it's not. So one thing I actually don't like about the Nobushi and Peacekeeper is, or at least the it's not the class, it's the mechanic. The bleed mechanic is not something I greatly enjoy. Because it's more of like, okay, you're bleeding, nothing else you can do. I don't know what happened there, but alright, I'll take that. I think my body just muscled memory itself. Because that's one thing the Warden can do, actually. If you can chain shoulder bashes, you can actually really do well. Let's revive you. Hi there, how's it going? I'll let the Raider fight his ally, I think. And I'm gonna go out reverse my own ally. Ooh! Okay, alright, that Raider actually has a problem. There we go, finally. I think the Raider there had an attack buff. And that's why. Just gonna go and get my ally if he decides to chase. He's chasing me, actually. He is actually chasing me. Alright.
Victory!
Yeah, so like I said, this is the downside of the 4v4, is that it's very easy to, just group up against each other. Not that... I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. Oh, I didn't get it. I'm so dead. Focus on defense. Focus on defense. I'm dead. And that's the enjoyable part about this game. Like, there's so many ways you could actually end up dying, either by environment or other ways to fight. Yeah, that person's learning I'm dead. Looks like it's 2v2, no, it's 3v2 right now, so that... See, that Kensei there should honestly probably stay by that body and also grab that buff. But he's actually kind of torn. Should I help my allies, or... Yeah, so I would go and help my allies, because your allies are losing, buddy. Kensei might actually made the wrong tactical decision. Yep, he made the wrong decision. That cost us the match. He thought guarding bodies was more important than if your allies could actually win the 1v1s. But that's elimination mode. I'm just going to quit to world map there. Like I said, if all of these game modes honestly were implemented... Well, maybe not elimination. Like, this game could have actually had a 4v4 elimination. I think, honestly, this game would have been better understood by people, but they were so focused on selling it as a warfare game that people got lost in Dominion. That's honestly what happened. People got lost in Dominion and only cared about Capture Point. And they were also upset, and even I was, too. Like, I honestly thought this game was honestly better, would have been better off without the gear stat system. I honestly think it still technically would be, even though now I look at the game, like I choose loadout 2 here, there isn't, at least in terms of the defense and attack stats, with the way the game it is now, there's actually not much, but they homogenize it. So this actually used to have every single item that you see here in each category actually had a third stat. It wasn't it wasn't defense and it wasn't attack. Or they all weren't defense and they all weren't attack. There were additional stats. I think one of them was run speed, and that was actually one thing I believe I invested heavily in. Whichever part I actually had. I'd have to actually double check the old VODs. Because this game did change a lot. This game has changed a lot. You know, your Warden used to look something like this here. I think the only weird part about it is, I mean, I guess somewhat, like the Valkyrie makes sense that it's a female-only class. But it's like, the Peacekeeper's just an assassin. Why have that be female-only? I mean, like, it's one of those weird things. Yeah, so if you recruit, yeah, so you can actually, yeah, so if I could play this character. Yeah, so I can play this hero, but you must unlock it to equip visual customization and better gear. So if you're starting, like I said, you get to play all the knights. Well, not all of them, so the Gladiator and the Centurion are still off limits. But the Lawbringer, Peacekeeper, Conqueror, and the Warden, as well as the Raider and Kensei. You can play all of those with the Starter Edition. And then I think all of these you would have to unlock. They cost 8,000 steel with the Starter Edition. Kind of ridiculous, honestly, because 8,000's a lot. It really is a lot. And I think it's honestly too much. Because, like, the champion status here actually gives you more. You know, I think it does give you more steel. I don't know, though. I mean, if you do the dailies and such, you will get a good amount of steel. And I think they increased it. I think they increased it. I can't be for certain if they actually did. But I think this game would have been better. Like, I think people would actually understand this game a lot better if they took it from the if they understood it as a fighting game first. If you do duels, you learn how to actually play the character, you understand their movesets, and you understand, like, and you'll slowly understand, like, how the other enemies are attacking, and everything kind of just bleeds into each other, and you make the game more complex, little by little by little. I think the only strange thing is that now that it'll be no longer a 3v3 faction, and this kind of applies to the little war map that they have going, it makes me wonder how it's actually going to pan out. But I think one of the more interesting parts about it is that having a 3v3 conflict, and this kind of goes into, like, your MMOs and stuff. It doesn't really affect this game at all. But, like, back in 3-factioned games are honestly always interesting to me. Like, if they actually did have, like, a 4v4v4 mode, I think that would have been one of the most interesting things. Not in this. I don't know if it would work in this game, because it's primarily a dueling game. But, like, games like Dark Age of Camelot. That's an old MMO I used to play. Having your realm be invaded not only by one faction, but another faction. So you had this weird, constant set of conflict. That honestly makes it an interesting MMO, at least. Nice, got first blood.
You lost Zone A.
we go.
Lost Zone C.
So Renown is basically this game's experience. So unfortunately we lost the other sides, but we did get B. Oh, hopefully. I attacked way too early on that one. I'm just gonna start defending. Counterattacking. Counterattacking is not my strength, apparently. It is really not my strength. Or parrying. I really should say parrying, because it's not... I mean, it opens up to counterattacks, but still. Oh, there goes his ally. Are you serious? Get out of here! Don't kill my ally. I don't even know how that happened, but that was a thing.
You captured Zone A.
Yeah, so she's able to. That player's actually able to heal at that base because we captured it. I need to actually kill all these guys so we can actually take our point back. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Damn it! All four of them were there in the middle.
You captured Zone C.
And they even saved her ally from being executed. So you can actually interrupt execute attacks by attacking the opponent.
You lost Zone A.
So that's actually one of the cool things about this game as well. So, like, that person would have had a penalty, but instead their allies were there and they saved them. And I ended up
Zone C.
losing my losing my teammates. Hi there, how's it going? Off the edge you go. And that's the cool thing about this. I'm gonna revive him. Just gonna start taking care of these guys. Oh! See, she's just helping me build up revenge meter. Now I'm focused on her.
Quickly! They need help!
Nope. Not gonna win that one. Yeah, I don't think... Oh, we have 2 bots. That's not... Oh, they have 3 bots. Everyone's leaving this game for some reason. I don't know why everyone's leaving this game, but we are. Nobody has faith in this game. Or at least in this match.
You captured Zone C.
That would explain why everything's more chaotic.
You captured Zone A.
But, like, imagine an organized team of 4 players. Just... Yeah, so everyone's... I don't know why everyone's leaving this match. I really actually don't. It could really just be a... because the bots... Any game's AI. Bots can actually be really good.
Lost.
Oh, that was dumb of me. I attacked him while he was in revenge mode. Just because I'm there doesn't mean my allies can't... Oh, never mind. Thankfully that was a bot. I would have been dead a whole lot sooner. Oh. Yeah, like I said, one downside, the bots aren't the best. I mean, you can make the bots really good, but in the actual 4v4, they're not that great. Oh, that would explain everything. Yes, I really need to stop attacking this guy. Ah! Oh. The Bagel of Death. I love some of the weird bot names that come up.
Capture Zone A.
I love how the fact we're also losing 3 bots and 1 player, and that player is winning it. I will say I have been playing this very poorly. As I said, there's actually a major importance to just sitting on a base. There really is in this game. Like, you can actually... I am not used to fighting a shaman, though. That player really... Oh, he now really wants my blood. Just run away. Oh! Ah, he uses arrows. So he has a perk just like the, He has a perk just like the catapult, attack. And that will actually... Instead of obviously shooting catapult, as with befitting knights, it'll actually be a hail of arrows. Like every single character, every single class has a feat, and it definitely doesn't look like we're gonna win this one here unless Fish Mango actually does something. Nah, he's not gonna do anything. And you can always stay dead. As well. And you do have a certain amount of time to actually get revives. So, Fish Margot here is just gonna be way too late to revive me. So, like, I'm permanently dead now, and that NPC is permanently dead. So, the game will actually end when Fish Margot dies. Or... And I've seen this actually happen, and this is way back when nobody really knew how to play this game, was, I've seen turnarounds of the most ridiculous variety. And now he's going up against 2 NPCs at once. But there you go. That is For Honor. Like I said, I actually enjoy this game. I've been having a lot of fun now that I'm not getting, like, disconnects every match. And I literally do mean every match. Like, that was the big thing that actually made probably a lot of people actually not play this game. Was, they just stopped... They just got tired of constantly having their games be interrupted. Like, okay, I'm playing this match now, and then out of the blue they would get disconnected. Because the downside about a peer-to-peer network is all it takes is one person disconnecting from the match or having a poor connection, and everyone will drop. And that's the thing that sucks. But that's gonna do it for me tonight. Also, it's telling me I'm actually dropping every single frame here, so that's actually a really downside as well. But for now, though... Wow, I'm actually really disconnecting. I have no idea what's causing it. That was the other thing that also made it hard. I'm just realizing that streaming this game is really, really difficult. It really is difficult. But that's going to do it for me tonight. I'm going to start up. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow or for this week. I will let you know next Saturday. I'm not going to be streaming at all. I'm unfortunately busy. But tomorrow, though, I don't have anything directly planned, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing, though. I'm going to wrap this up here because my connection is as unstable can be, though. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this night's stream. Until then, though, take care.